In this video, I'm going to show you how to do the XML editing on Sid Meier's Civilization 6 to basically give you, as the player, a little starting boost, starting help in your AI games. So what you want to do is navigate to your Civ 6 folder, mine is here, and go to Base, Assets, Gameplay, and Data. The XML files of interest will be here, and as usual, it is always good practice to back it up by, I will be doing it by making an archive, so I can always extract this if I need to reset anything. So basically here is my to-do list. I like to call this edit the granary mod, granary hack, because we will be exploiting the granary. The data for the granary can be found under buildings.xml, and I highly recommend using Notepad++ to do your editing. Start by searching for the granary, and this is the data entry here. What we are going to do is to make the granary unbuildable, so we're going to use technologies to limit the construction of the granary. I would recommend something ridiculous like future tech. So go ahead and copy this and set it as the tech requirement. Okay, be very careful to avoid any syntax errors. For example, the quotation marks here, they must be preserved exactly. So in case you're not familiar with any form of programming, let me just tell you that syntax errors and typos are all very serious mistakes, very serious beginner mistakes. Do not take anything for granted. Make sure that when you edit or copy and paste anything, the structure of the XML file must be preserved. That means not even something like a missing space over here, that none of this will be acceptable. It will always lead to a runtime error. So we're going to set the prerequisite tech as future tech, and we can also set a prerequisite what is that word? What is it? Is it policies? The culture, yeah, civics, right? Civics. Is it civics? Yeah, future civics. So buildings can have a prerequisite civic like this over here. See, prerequisite civic recreation. So we're just gonna copy the whole thing over here. You see, make sure you have a space, and the civic that we're gonna use is future civic. All this to ensure that the AI will not be able to build the granary. You could change the cost, but that would lead to a bug, because the AI would still prioritize building the granary, and even if you set it to something like 9999 cost, the AI will still build it, and you will effectively cripple the AI because he will be stuck constructing his granary forever. So what we've done now is we've basically just walled off the granary and made it impossible to build unless you have both the future civic and the future tech. And alright, we can now move on to edit the properties of the granary itself. Now housing over here is the amount of housing that the building provides. It is a default 2. You can also change the amenities. In the XML file, amenities are known as entertainment. Yeah, over here you see the arena provides one amenity, so we can just copy and paste this to the granary. So now the granary provides one amenity, but what we are really interested is somewhere here, right? These are the yield types for the buildings. So as you can see, there are many yields: culture yields, faith, food, gold. These are basically what the building will give you. So what we can do is we can copy and paste this line like 4 times. So we have food, faith, culture, gold, production, and one more. That would be science. Science, yes, yield science. Right. So with all these values, you can basically tweak how much of an advantage you will have over the AIs. So you can set your granary to always give you 3 food and like, I don't know, 5 faith, 3 culture, 5 gold, basically anything you want. For this example, we're just gonna go overboard and like set this to like 999 production. So personally, I do not recommend anything above 5 because that's like too big of a change. So I'll give myself 3 signs. Okay, so remember to save. So that's all that we have to do for this XML file. Now we will address the problem of how to obtain the granary in the first place, since we've made it impossible to build. So the answer lies in the great people, specifically the great scientists. One of them, this guy here, has the ability to construct a library, if I'm not mistaken, in any campus. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna change his data and make him award the granary building in the city center instead. So you can see that his action requires a campus district because he's supposed to construct a library, but we're going to change that. Let's just refer to the districts file. City center, yes. So target district is city center. Action charges, we're going to set this to 99 so that we can use him 99 times. He can give us 99 granaries in 99 different cities. Okay. We have to move his name up here. This is because this list determines the sequence of great scientists that will be encountered in game. It is always fixed, so we have to put this guy all the way at the top so that you will be able to access him right from the beginning of the game. So now let's see how we're going to actually give ourselves the building. Great person. library. Alright, we're just gonna search for this. Library. Yes, over here. You can refer to the line here. It's line 529. So what we want is to change the building library to building granary. Right, like this. So with this, our great scientists will be able to trigger on city center districts and will award us the granary building. So that's step 2 of my to-do list. And the last step is to give us this great scientist on turn 1 of the game, and this can be done with buying, just outright buying him with gold. So in the ancient era, yeah, we begin in the ancient era, so we will just set this to something like 1000. This isn't bear in mind, this isn't just for you. You will be awarding all players who start in the ancient era. When you create a new game, everyone will start with 1000 gold. So basically this kind of gives the AIs a boost, because everyone will get 1000 gold, but you will be spending that gold on the great scientist on turn 1, and the AI will have 1000 gold to spend. So keep that in mind. And that's all the XML editing that we're going to need to do. So go ahead and make sure you've saved all of the files, and we will boot up our game to test. So I missed out 2 important steps. Number 1, the entire data row for the great scientist has to be cut and paste, moved from its original position to the top in this section over here. And the other change that we have to make is in the era type. This is by default classical era. This is era classical, and we have to change it to ancient to tell the game that this great scientist will be available in the ancient era. So go ahead and save your changes, and on normal game speed, the recruitment will cost exactly 650 gold, so go ahead and set that as your starting goal, and that should be it. You can see from the screenshot that I have over here, yeah, so Stockholm is currently at 1000 over production on turn 2. Okay, so that's because we had set the production of the granary to 999. So let me just recap. These are basically the values that you'll be interested in changing to give yourself however much of an advantage you would like. I would personally recommend nothing greater than the number 5, and it's not just these yields that you can change. You can also change the amenities and the housing provided by the granary. So that's all. I hope this video helps you in your quest in Civ 6.